Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and we have a huge amount of watches on the table for you today, ranging from vintage to modern to unworn to Bremonts to Tudors to Amigas to everything you can possibly imagine. I'm super excited to bring you this interesting and varied drop, and I think you guys are going to be excited to see it. And as always, you've already guessed it, what I'm about to say. Thank you again for another incredible week. I appreciate it so much. Every single week, it's just getting better and better. So please keep sending in your watches for sale. Keep letting us help you consign and sell them on your behalf, or purchasing from you, or selling to you, whatever way it is. Even just watching these videos and leaving a thumbs up helps a lot, so I do appreciate it. And as always, make sure you follow in on Instagram. It's where you get to see these pieces live before they even come to the website. And we did have another watch in this drop, a beautiful Grand Seiko GMT, and it was the SBGM211G, I want to say off the top of my head. Really beautiful example, and one that I'm not surprised flew away before it could even get here. And before we get into what's on the table, I'm going to do it now before I forget what is on wrist. I'm actually wearing a watch that we have in stock, and we've had in stock a little while. A Maurice Lacroix, a very interesting masterpiece with a beautiful dial. The reason I've put this on is because sometimes I feel like watches get a little bit lost as we get new watches in. They fall to the back of the website. So if you haven't seen this one, go check it out on the website. Go to the 4th page. I believe it's on there. May even be the 5th page when all these go live, so go check it out. And one final point before we dive in, I am probably going to be very slow replying this weekend. I'm actually, as of the time of you watching this video, I'm going to be in a tent, camping in a field like an absolute weirdo, but it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't run off. There is no scandal, there will be no reveal video, so don't worry. It's very simple. I'll be back on Monday, so we'll see you then. Okay, well, where to begin? There is a range on the table, that's for sure, but let's start with the latest release, Tudor chronograph. Starting off with a new release from Tudor. This is the Tudor Black Bay Chrono, also nicknamed the Reverse Panda, and the reason being is the colours, as you can see. This is black with white, and the white with black is often nicknamed the Panda. That's something that's been used in watch lingo for years, but this one, as I said, is unworn and also still stickered. You can see still got stickers along the case, and the only sort of things where you might see some wear is the strap, where it's obviously been around the cushion in the box. So that is it. But really gorgeous watch, and a surprising watch for me personally. Actually, I'm not a big fan of bund straps. I've made that obvious in previous videos with other watches, but that being said, I feel like this really works with the bund strap, not only in the design but also in how it feels on the wrist, because this is a big watch. It's not a small watch, it's not an unforgiving watch, it is quite thick as well, but some reason the bund strap just wears it. I don't know how else to explain it. It's the kind of watch, if you see it in the window at a retailer, I'd recommend going to try it on, or obviously booking an appointment with us here in Clerkenwell, because I feel like it will really surprise you. But a really gorgeous piece nonetheless. Now inside this is the automatic Tudor caliber MT5813, which is basically a Breitling BO2 movement, as Tudor and Breitling did a swap, and then Tudor have elaborated on the movement and added all their bells and whistles as they usually do. Specific reference to this one is 79360N, and this is from April 2021, and as I said, completely unworn. It comes with its full box and paperwork. It is only the bund strap. Now, if you absolutely dislike the bund strap, you can take the bund part off, so don't worry, it's not like you're stuck with wearing it on this. You can just have the leather strap, which I think is probably, as well as I think it wears on this, that would probably be my option. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. So here it is on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. It is a very unique look, especially with the bund strap, so it either is for you or it isn't for you, but that's completely fine. Now let's talk dimensions. It's 41mm by 50mm lug to lug, right on the brink of that lug to lug length I always go on about. It's 14.5mm thick and 22mm lug, so you've got endless options there. Obviously, if you prefer it on a bracelet, you can get the bracelet from Tudor. But a really gorgeous watch, a very surprising watch for me personally, because when I first saw the images I wasn't a big fan, but seeing it here in the flesh I really do like it, and it's incredible value for money, so go check it out. From latest release to something that's been discontinued, this awesome Dark Heritage Black Bay. And here we go, the next watch, the now discontinued Tudor Black Bay Dark Heritage. This is a watch I've actually sold a couple of times, and each time it surprises me how much I like it, because I'm not the biggest fan, to be honest, of all black watches, but there's something about this one which I really like. Now, it is PVD coated, which puts a lot of people off because that will fade over time, and obviously it will develop marks and scratches, but every single one I've seen of these have developed sort of their marks and wear them well, which is always quite surprising. As I said, this is now discontinued, and this one is a brand new from this year unworn model, so you're getting the last opportunity to really buy them brand new. The specific reference to this one is 79230DK, and it's still got their automatic Tudor caliber MT5602, which is their in-house, so this isn't smiley face ETA, so you are getting all the bells and whistles of that modern movement. Obviously, you still got the old style clasp and everything like that, and the whole watch is blacked out, including the dial. And I really like the little accents of red. I think it just goes really well with the design. And this is what I think Tudor do really well. They push the boundaries of what the Rolex family can do within the Tudor arm. You know, I don't feel like you'll ever see a Rolex like this official from factory. Of course, there's options out there, Bamford and others that you can find, but Tudor is their sort of branch that they can test out all these new ideas on, see how the market reacts, and this is one of those that I think in years to come we will appreciate more than we do right now. That's what I personally think. This is from June 2021, literally brand new, and as I said, it comes with its full box and paperwork and all the things you could possibly want. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. Surprisingly, very similar to the Chrono. And here we go on wrist. As you can see, it's an interesting look. Again, won't be for everyone, but that's completely fine. This is 41mm by 50mm lug to lug, 14.5mm thick, and 22mm lugs. I've seen this paired on a black NATO, and it looks great. It's a little bit big for me. Same with the Chrono. I think they're just that smidge too big. I can wear them, and I would wear them, and I have actually worn this model for over a week before, but it is a little bit too big for me personally. So if you've got a slightly bigger wrist than me, I think you'll be more than fine, and if you like bigger watches, this is definitely a go-to. But go check it out on the website for more details. And let's finish off the Tudors. We have this gorgeous Black Bay Blue. Next up is a watch I have really liked since its release, and we haven't publicly sold one, but we have sourced multiple for people behind the scenes, which is something we can do for those of you wondering. If you have a specific watch you're after, do let us know and we can find it for you. Obviously, more mainstream stuff will be a lot quicker and a lot easier. More obscure stuff will take time, so you have to be patient. But this is the Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue. Obviously, they first came out with the black with the gilt, and this is the second iteration. I believe, personally, they are going to phase out the entire Black Bay 41 range and move completely over to this smaller case in 39mm and bring all the colours and everything we've come to expect from Tudor, including also complications. I think the GMT will eventually come into this case. But this is a gorgeous watch, and now is finally under retail, so you're getting yourself a great deal, especially on a watch like this, because this one is pretty much hardly worn. There's no real marks on it at all. It's still got the sticker on the case back. The case, even the polished parts, are in very good nick. Any marks you do see in this video are likely just fingerprints, so do check out the macros. But the specific reference to this one is the M79030B, and inside here is the automatic Tudor MT5402, a very reliable, good movement from them. This specific one is from December 2020, and as I said, it does come with its full box and paperwork and hardly worn, and that blue dial is perfect. This is a gorgeous watch, and you know, I absolutely love blue watches, it's no secret, but the way they've done this blue, the matte blue, where it's not this crazy glowing blue, works so well in every occasion. Sometimes those really vibrant crazy blues can definitely be a bit overpowering in certain situations, whereas this just works, and I think Tudor nailed this model. This is one they should definitely be proud of. But let's show on wrist and talk dimension. And here we go. This is the perfect dimension to me for a dive watch. 39mm by 47.5mm lug to lug, only 12mm thick and 20mm lugs. That reduction in the lug width has made a big difference in the way this watch wears, in my personal opinion. But but it just looks so perfect on wrist. I really love it, and I think once they start bringing out a few more colorways and different dial options and everything like that, I think there will be a 58 in the personal collection at some point. But go check this one out, get yourself a good deal, save yourself a couple of quid on retail. Let's stick to modern for a moment and look at the Bremonts. We have a awesome Martin Baker 3. And we have another Bremont. This is the Bremont Martin Baker 3. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the history of Bremont, the history of the Martin Baker, we've done a very good write-up on the website, so do check that out. But a very brief history, Bremont is a English company. As you can see, they've got London stated down there at 6 o'clock. And you might be looking at the second hand and seeing the counter part of the second with that pull lever going, what on earth is that? Well, that is a pull lever for a ejection seat in a plane. Martin Baker is one of the companies that make those ejection seats, and these watches are tested to the G-force and sort of vigorous tests that they go through. They're actually put on, and I could be wrong with all this, but this is what I've been told over the years with working with Bremont. These are put on the dummies of the ejection seats and tested within the velocity that they receive, and they're also awarded 2 pilots who actually have to eject, unfortunately, from their seat in air. They get rewarded with a slightly different version of it with a different colour barrel. As you can see, this is a vibrant orange. But as I said, head over to the website to see much more details and everything like that. Now, the Martin Baker 3 is a GMT with 2 crowns, as you can see, sort of compressor style, and the crown at the bottom allows you to rotate the inner bezel with a very nice distinct click, which is nice to see rather than it just being free-flowing, in my opinion. And obviously the independent GMT hand you can set and everything like that with the top crown, time, everything, all that good stuff. But Bremont, very interesting company that are doing great things. I think they are great pre-owned, and what I mean by that is for the money, for what you get on the pre-owned market, they are fantastic. At retail, I don't think as much, to be honest, and that is my honest opinion. Now, the cases are a triptych design, as they call it, which means 3 pieces put together. You've got the top part, mid case, and the case back. They all come together, and they have incredible properties. But as I said, read the website for more details on all the bells and whistles. But let's check it out on wrist and talk dimensions. But before we do that, as I said, it's the Martin Baker 3. Inside here is their movement that they call the BE-93-2AE, which is basically a modified ETA, and this is from October 2018, but let's show on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. Now, it is a big watch. Bremonts do wear big, but they are also very comfortable, surprisingly so to myself every time I put one on. But this is 42.5mm by 49mm lug to lug. Under that threshold I always go on about. 14.5mm thick and 22mm lugs, and they have a huge variety of options of straps they can choose from. This is currently on the black rubber with its original signed buckle as well. So do check this one out on the website. Get yourself a really good deal for a fantastic watch. And probably one of my favourite Bremonts to actually wear, and that is the Supermarine S301. Here we go. As I said, probably one of my favourite Bremonts, and that's mainly down to the design and also the smaller case of 40mm. But this is a really gorgeous watch. This is the Bremont Supermarine S301/BK. That's the reference. Really interesting take on a dive watch that Bremont have done here. You've obviously got your rotating bezel, you've got the faux patina, which definitely isn't everyone's taste. You've got the highlights of red, which obviously I feel like this is a definite nod to the vintage red sub from Rolex. That's my personal opinion. I believe they deny that. They definitely say they've taken inspiration from vintage watches, but I think it's very clear that it's from that. You've got a nice screw down crown with that gilded ring as well. Date over there at 3 o'clock. Just a very well designed, very well proportioned dive watch. Right now it's paired on the Bremont NATO, which I think just suits the watch so well. Bremont, obviously, with their sort of flight history and everything like that, it's interesting that they're doing more dive watches, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what else they come out with. But let's show this one on wrist. But just before we do, this is from July 2017. It does come with its full box and papers, and inside here is their caliber BE-92AE, which again is a modified ETA. Nothing wrong with that at all. But let's show it on wrist. And here we go on wrist. Slightly longer NATO strap, so it doesn't quite fit me. You obviously can get shorter ones as well. Let's put it there. There we go. This is 40mm by 49mm lug to lug, 13mm thick and 20mm lugs. Obviously endless options in the lug, in the strap department. Really, really great looking watch, and I think a hell of a lot of watch for just over £2,000, you know, when you consider what you're getting. So go check this one out for a great value. And next, let's have a look at a really gorgeous limited edition Amiga with an 18-karat white gold bezel insert. And next up is a limited edition Amiga Seamaster that really won't be for everyone, and again, that's completely fine. This is a limited edition for the America's Cup, as you can see stated there on the dial, and also stated there on the side of the case. It says limited edition on either side of the crown. You've obviously got your screw down crown. It was limited to 9,999 pieces, so not super limited, but there definitely isn't a huge amount of these out there, which is kind of interesting to see. This is obviously the older style Seamaster from the 2000s with the wave dial and the sword hands. Very nice design in my opinion, and one I actually really like of the Seamaster range, and their iconic bracelet. Twisted lugs, all the stuff you've come to expect, the helium escape valve, and interestingly the bezel is made of steel, but the insert is 18-karat white gold. Is this a nod to the Rolex Yachtmaster? I would probably say so, because obviously the early Yachtmasters had a platinum bezel, and that's something obviously I think they've taken inspiration from, if I'm allowed to say that. I don't know. You've got the date over there at 3 o'clock, red tip on the second hand. This watch does come with a Amiga box. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with the original limited edition box or paperwork, which is a shame. It's obviously been lost at some point, because this watch is from circa 2000 to 2002. And as I said, unfortunately that has been lost, but that means this is a incredible deal for what you get, especially when you consider everything that this watch offers. The reference of this watch is 2533.50.00. Inside is the automatic Amiga caliber 1120, a very good and reliable movement. But let's show it here on wrist and talk dimensions, because this is where the Seamaster has always shone for me. And here we go. So again, a big watch, but it wears so comfortably on the wrist at 41mm by 47.5mm lug to lug. Only 12mm thick and 20mm lugs. Again, endless options on the straps. A lot of people I've seen wear these on rubber, and I think it looks incredible. But go check this one out for more details and to see what kind of price this is. Now let's go over to this Amiga HS8. Now we have a interesting Amiga military watch. This is the HS8, as you can see from the case back. There you go, with the broad arrow and the numbers indicated. Now, let's establish something straight away. This is not the dial that would have been in the HS8 or the hands that would have been used in the HS8. This has been restored by Amiga. And let's talk the story of this watch. So this is a circa 1943 Amiga Royal Navy Fleet Air Arms pilot watch, the HS8. This was originally, not originally, but recently purchased from Somlo Antiques in Burlington Arcade. Now, for those of you who know your vintage Amiga, you will know Somlo Antiques are the only authorized vintage reseller of Amiga, meaning they come with a specific vintage Amiga box, like a modern vintage Amiga box, if that makes sense, and paperwork with basically a extract of the archives signed off by Amiga on behalf of Somlo Antiques. Do check the website, you'll see the photos of all that. So it's very interesting that it comes with all that, and this went back to Amiga to have the work done, and they decided to put this dial and handset on it. For what reason? I have no idea, but they did. So at least you've got the provenance and everything proving what has happened over the time. But the important thing is the condition of the case and everything is fantastic. It comes on their Somlo strap. We will provide a new strap for you and a modern Amiga buckle, which is nice, which is worth a few £100 on its own. Now, when this was purchased from Somlo, it was actually purchased for in extreme excess of £2,000. To put it into perspective, we are asking just over £1,500 for this watch. So you're saving yourself a lot of money. But let's show it on wrist, talk dimensions, and before we do, real quick, inside here is the 30T2 SC Central Seconds, so the 30T2, an infamous watch used by Amiga on multiple famous watches of this period, the 1940s. The reference to this is the CK2384, and it's a 10 million serial, which also dates it to 1943. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, a very, very nice looking watch. Even though it is restored, it's done well, and I think the dial just looks really nice. A very interesting choice. But 34.5mm case size by 41.5mm lug to lug, only 11mm thick and 18mm lugs. Super comfortable. You can see you've got drilled lug holes in the case, which is correct, so you can swap out the strap. And the no Amiga signed crown is also correct. I had someone mention it. In 1943, they weren't putting these signed crowns on these watches. So go check it out for more details, read up the write-up, and have a closer look. From there to what is probably my favourite watch on the table, and you'll see why when we have a closer look, and that is this beautiful Blue Dial Avia Merino. So as I said, my favourite from this drop, and now we're having a closer look, I'm sure you can see why. This is absolutely stunning, and one I wish I could keep, but I can't keep them all. This is a 1960s Avia Merino diver style chronograph, and the dial was originally blue, but you can see if I catch it in certain lights, it goes almost purple. It is absolutely stunning. We paired it on this blue strap, which I think just accentuates the dial and just really makes it pop. That is an original dial. It's not been restored or anything like that. It is in fantastic condition, really, when you consider the age and the fact that these were definitely used. You can see you've got all the inscription on the back and everything. Just a really nice watch. Now the bezels are friction fit, so don't worry if you see it moving around like this. That is normal. It isn't enough, like loose enough that it will move if you shake it and wear it, but if you catch it, obviously it will move, but that's nothing to be worried about. That is common for these watches. The crystal has got a few scratches and a couple of deeper marks that unfortunately we just can't get out. We have tried polishing them, and new crystals for these are near impossible to find, so I will warn you ahead of time. So be careful with this, don't crack the crystal. The crystal has basically this lip that goes underneath the bezel, which allows the bezel to be friction fit. So if you really want a new bezel, we can get you a new bezel, but it means the bezel won't be moving again. So that's something to keep in mind. We chose originality over replacing. Inside here is a manually wound Landeron 248. So for those of you who know your movements, you'll know that means this movement is a start with the top chronograph button, stop and reset both from the bottom chronograph button. Typically it's start, stop, reset. This is start, stop and reset. 30-minute totalizer over there. Just a nice looking watch overall. Really, really interesting piece. I've had a few of these in over the time and people really like them, but I've never had a blue, so I'm very excited to be able to offer this one. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions, because this is quite a big watch for the time. Okay, and here we go. Oh, such a lovely watch. 37.5mm case, which is large for 1960s. 47mm lug to lug, 14.5mm thick and 19mm lugs. An interesting design overall, a really gorgeous watch, and one that I think will really surprise a lot of people when they put it on wrist. It does not give vintage feel. Well, it does. It gives all the vintage feels, but in a modern case size. It definitely ticks a box for a lot of people. Go check it out. From there to what's arguably the best deal on the table, this really, really cool gold roll door in 9-karat gold with its box. Next up is a watch I hadn't heard of before, and I don't think many of you would have either. This is a nice 9-karat gold roll door precision, as it's called. This is from circa 1964, and it does come with its original box, which is in very old condition, so do keep that in mind. It's not a particularly amazing box, but it is the original, which is nice to have. Now, interestingly with this watch is it's 9-karat gold, and the case on the inside, it's a monocoque case, meaning it comes out the front, but inside it is signed BWC, which is British Watch Company. And they used to make cases for Rolex and Tudor and Amiga and all kinds of different brands at the same period. So it's very interesting that it comes with a very high quality case. And also inside is a manually wound FHF70, again a movement company that Tudor used to use back in the day. It does make me wonder if Roldor was some subsidiary brand of the Rolex Corporation, the same way we've seen in Unicorn and a couple of these others. There's no way of really proving it. I don't know for definite, so don't take that as like gospel, as fact. It is just my opinion that there could be some loose connection somewhere along the lines. But either way, a very interesting 9-karat gold watch, pin lug holes, and just a really nice size and a hell of a lot of watch for under £500. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. These are definitely the dimensions of 1964. What you have is a 32mm case by 14mm lug to lug, only 9mm thick and 16mm lugs, the perfect proportion for a dress watch. Definitely a bit too small for some guys nowadays who just prefer bigger watches. I think if you don't mind smaller watches, this is going to be right up your alley, especially for the price, so go check it out. Next up, one for the ladies, a really cool Tissot rock watch with a mother of pearl dial. Let's have a closer look. So the Tissot rock watch, again a watch I've had in a few times, but I've never had this version in. This is super interesting. It definitely won't be for everyone, and that's okay. The Tissot rock watch was a thing they started a long time ago, where they literally use different materials to make cases. There's marble, there's literal rock, there's all kinds of different things, and this one, as you can see, has a really cool mother of pearl dial. Interestingly, this is the reference R150, and it is from August 1991 because it comes with its box and paperwork. Nice little touch to have. Inside here is a quartz ETA 796001 inside. This isn't the original Tissot strap it came on, but it is a original Tissot strap that it was swapped onto. And you can see you've still got the original buckle on there as well, which is gold plated, which is correct because, as you can see, the mid case and the bars are gold plated as well. But just a really interesting ladies watch. As I said, won't be for everyone, and that's more than okay. Now, dimensions of this little person is 30mm by 36.5mm, 6.3mm thick, and 16mm lugs. Obviously, a standard strap won't fit this. You need to get a strap either cut to size or an official Tissot strap. And I have no idea why I called this a little guy, but there you go. So go check this one out on the website for less weirdness. There you go. And last but certainly not least, we have a Bamford Peanuts collaboration piece, so let's have a closer look at this interesting watch. So what we have here is Bamford, Peanuts, and Andre M, which is an artist. This is a very interesting watch. It won't be for everyone, and that's okay. And as you can see, life is a dream. This is a unusual watch. I remember the first time I saw it, I was very unsure on it. I still am unsure on it, to be honest, but I can see the appeal for people who are into this kind of thing. And Bamford, that's what they're about. They're about doing these weird, obscure, unusual stuff, and they do it very well. Of all the brands that do it, I think it's really cool. Inside here is a Quartz Miyota 2035. This is a limited edition watch. It comes with its full box and paperwork from November 2018, and to be honest, it's been hardly worn. As you can see, you've got this sort of grey, matte grey case, which is really cool. The overall design, it goes really well. Obviously, you've got the white, the black, the grey, and then you've got that interesting artwork on the dial. This is what we get. We get things that aren't for everyone, even for me, you know, and that's okay. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go. 42mm by 48mm lug to lug, 14.5mm thick, and 20mm lug, so endless strap options, although the black and the red works really well. Go check this one out if this is your kind of thing. And if it is, it's a good deal. So go and have a look. So there you have it, guys and girls. That is this week's large watch drop. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope there's something here that interests you. And I think that's the good thing about these drops that we do. It's not all just heavy hitters. It's not all just vintage awesomeness. It's everything you could possibly imagine, with really obscure stuff that you've probably never seen before. And that's what we try and always do. Unfortunately, I was just interrupted. Can't remember where I was. So I'm probably just going to end it there because I think I've already said all the jargon I usually say. But as always, keep safe, keep well out there. I hope you enjoy your weekend as much as I hopefully am. In the rain, in a tent is going to be fun. But we will see you all again next week. Take care.